When the unstoppable rage of the Hulk collides with the unyielding wrath of Kratos, the battlefield trembles, and only one warrior will rise. Who will emerge victorious in this clash of titans? Brace yourself for an earth-shattering battle like never before. The sky hung low with heavy clouds, their dark forms swirling like omens of the impending cataclysm. Lightning forked across the heavens, illuminating a battlefield that had long since been abandoned by lesser beings. Crumbling ruins, jagged cliffs, and rivers of molten lava painted a landscape of destruction, a fitting arena for two of the most fearsome warriors in existence. A cold wind howled through the shattered terrain, kicking up dust and ashes. Kratos, the god of war, stood motionless, his crimson-marked skin gleaming under the dying light. His breath was steady, his mind focused, as the weight of countless battles rested upon his shoulders. He had faced gods, titans, and horrors beyond mortal comprehension, but he had never encountered a force quite like the one that now stood before him. Towering over him was Hulk, an emerald leviathan whose mere presence sent tremors through the earth. His colossal form pulsed with uncontainable gamma energy, each breath filling the air with the sound of a distant thunderclap. His eyes, glowing with primal fury, fixated on Kratos, a silent promise of devastation lingering in their depths. Every muscle on his monstrous body twitched with untapped strength, an embodiment of boundless rage and destruction. For a brief moment, silence reigned. The air grew heavy, as if the world itself braced for what was to come. Then, without warning, Hulk moved. The earth shattered beneath his feet as he lunged forward, covering the distance between them in an instant. His colossal fist, heavier than any warhammer Kratos had ever faced, descended like a meteor. The god of war barely had time to react, twisting his body at the last moment as the blow struck the ground where he had stood. The impact splintered the battlefield, sending shockwaves that uprooted mountains and cracked the sky itself. Kratos retaliated with the blades of chaos, their searing chains wrapping around Hulk's massive arm, cutting deep into his flesh. The beast snarled, his rage flaring as he ripped the chains apart, sending Kratos hurtling backward. But the Spartan was not so easily shaken. He landed with precision, summoning the Leviathan axe, its frost-coated steel glinting in the chaos. With a warrior's grace, he hurled the axe at Hulk's chest. The weapon struck true, embedding itself deep, its magical frost spreading across Hulk's massive torso, momentarily slowing his movements. But as soon as the pain registered, Hulk's fury ignited anew. With a primal roar that shook the heavens, he ripped the axe free, shattering its icy grip before crushing the weapon in his grasp. Kratos barely had time to react before Hulk was upon him again, his enormous hand wrapping around the god of war's torso. With unimaginable force, he lifted Kratos high into the air and slammed him into the ground, creating a massive crater that swallowed the battlefield. The force rippled outward, sending molten lava spilling into the abyss, turning the land into an inferno. Kratos gritted his teeth, ignoring the pain as he dug his fingers into the earth, pushing himself up. He had endured worse: Zeus' lightning, Ares' wrath, and the torment of the underworld itself. He would not fall so easily. Calling upon his divine strength, he launched himself from the crater, spinning through the air with the blades of chaos whipping around him. They lashed out, slicing deep into Hulk's flesh, leaving trails of fire in their wake. The green behemoth bellowed, his rage growing exponentially with each wound inflicted upon him. Then Hulk did the impossible. Catching both blades mid-air, he pulled Kratos forward, delivering a devastating headbutt that sent the Spartan flying. Kratos crashed into the side of a jagged cliff, shattering rock upon impact. Before he could recover, Hulk was already there, grabbing the mountain itself and ripping it from the earth. With a single heave, he hurled the entire landmass at Kratos. The Spartan barely escaped, diving forward as the mountain collapsed behind him, burying the landscape in an avalanche of destruction. Emerging from the dust, Kratos' fury ignited. His Spartan rage took hold, his body glowing red, his strength surging beyond mortal limits. With newfound power he charged, his fists striking Hulk like the fury of Olympus itself. Blow after blow, he drove his fists into Hulk's body, each strike shaking the world. Ribs cracked, flesh bruised, but Hulk only grew stronger. With each punch he endured, his rage intensified, his power skyrocketing beyond comprehension. Kratos knew then, Hulk was limitless. The more damage he took, the stronger he became. His healing factor accelerated, repairing wounds before they could become a weakness. Kratos had slain gods, but this was different. Hulk was no mere god. He was a force of nature, an unrelenting storm of destruction. With one earth-shattering strike, Hulk finally overpowered the Spartan, his massive fists clamping down on Kratos' shoulders before he tore into him with a devastating flurry. Each hit sent shockwaves across the battlefield, each impact cracking the sky itself. Kratos struggled to rise, but Hulk was relentless. Lifting him high, the behemoth roared, before driving him into the molten earth below. The lava erupted, swallowing the Spartan, his divine body resisting the flames, but his strength fading. The battlefield lay in ruins, forever scarred by the clash of two unstoppable forces. Smoke rose in thick plumes from the molten craters, the earth groaning as if wounded by the devastation that had unfolded. The once mighty landscape, carved by time and war, now bore witness to an unparalleled reckoning, an event that would be whispered of in the annals of destruction. Hulk stood amidst the wreckage, his massive form heaving with deep, measured breaths. The rage that had driven him to victory still simmered beneath his emerald skin, but it no longer burned out of control. His eyes, once alight with uncontrollable fury, now flickered with something else, acknowledgement. He had faced warriors, gods, and monsters in his relentless existence, but none had tested his strength as Kratos had. The god of war lay battered and broken, his once indomitable frame barely moving. His armor was shattered, his weapons lay strewn across the battlefield, and the divine glow of his Spartan rage had faded into the ashen wind. Yet, even in defeat, Kratos remained defiant. His body, though weakened, refused to surrender completely. The ghost of Sparta had fallen many times, but he had always risen again. For a long moment, Hulk stared down at his fallen opponent, his immense shadow casting Kratos in darkness. The world seemed to hold its breath. The Hulk, an engine of destruction, a force of pure rage, had achieved ultimate victory. But there was no final strike, no death blow. He had proven his dominance. He had no need to end a warrior who had given him a battle worth remembering. With a low growl, Hulk turned away. His massive footsteps shook the land beneath him as he walked into the distance, leaving behind the remnants of their battle. There was nothing left to fight for. He had won. Kratos, lying among the ruins, exhaled slowly, his breath ragged yet steady. His body ached with a pain even he had rarely known, but his mind remained sharp. He had been bested, not by a god or a titan, but by something far more terrifying, a being with limitless strength. As the sky cleared, a lone ray of light broke through the clouds, shining upon the battlefield. It was neither a sign of triumph nor of despair, only a quiet reminder that even the greatest warriors could fall. But Kratos knew one truth: he was never truly defeated. His legend did not end here. Slowly, he pressed his hand against the cracked earth, his muscles screaming in protest as he pushed himself up. His war was not over. He would rise again, stronger, wiser, and ready for whatever battle awaited him. The world had seen an unimaginable clash, a fight that defied the limits of power itself. Hulk had won the battle, but war was eternal. As the giant vanished into the horizon, and the ghost of Sparta stood once more, the earth itself seemed to whisper a truth that neither could deny. This was not the end.